Hi, everyone. It's November. Let's have a look at the national real estate scene and see where we're headed as we move forward and we wrap out 2024 and we enter into 2025. Welcome to another episode of Michael's Inside the Deal, bringing transparency and truth to every single deal. We bring you real talk, real data, and the right way to do business from the eyes of a local real estate broker. That's me. My name is Michael Rennick. I am your host for this episode. Truly appreciate you diving in. Let's take a look right now and let's see where we end up, what the data is showing us and what's going on. So this is the monthly market report for November. Like I said, much of this data and slides have been provided by a great organization called Keeping Current Matters. I have their permission to share this data and provide my take on what's going on. So I want to thank them for this opportunity. Over the next few weeks, we're all going to find ourselves surrounded by more people than at almost any other time of the year. Between gatherings, maybe church services, family celebrations, and all the festivities for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, and beyond, these moments naturally bring up conversations. And guess what? Real estate most likely and inevitably will come up. That's why it's so important to be prepared with the answers that people are looking for. What I've done is pinpointed 5 questions that are likely to come up during these discussions. I'll walk you through each of these questions and I'll break them down with easy to understand insights. Why do I do that? It's very simple. It's important to be informed, to be knowledgeable of what's going on when you're out with friends and relatives and acquaintances, to share your thoughts from a perspective of what the data is showing us right now. A lot of times, people's opinions on real estate come from a mix of rumors and misunderstandings, not always rooted in facts and reality. They may have read something online or overheard a conversation that's far from accurate. That's where I step in. I want to provide clarity and provide answers to these 5 questions as we go forward. If you decide whether now is the time to be a buyer or seller, it's important to have the right information. So let's take a look at this. The first question, of course, when will mortgage rates come down? It's a tough question and one even the best experts can get wrong. Predicting mortgage rates is tricky, but we can rely on what we do know. I'll break it down for you in a way that's easy to share, easy to understand, and to share with others. Robert McLaughlin, a senior economist at Realtor.com, recently said, and I quote, "The trajectory of rates over the coming months will largely depend on 3 factors: the performance of the labor market, the outcome of the presidential election, and the potential reemergence of inflationary pressures." Well, there's been a lot of volatility in rates recently. He predicts we'll start seeing some stability return in late November or in early December. Let's unpack that. First, the labor market. The latest jobs report shows growth in government and healthcare jobs, but a lack of growth or even losses in other sectors. This indicates some softness in the labor market, which could influence the Fed's decisions. Second, we know that the outcome of the presidential election, but it's still too early to gauge how that's going to impact the market as we move forward. Finally, inflation remains a critical question. While it's stabilized recently, we need to watch closely to ensure that it doesn't flare up again. Inflation will negatively impact the mortgage rates. So when can we expect better mortgage rates? That's the key question right now. Most forecasters anticipate a more favorable rate environment as we head into 2025. The shift will make home buying more affordable, potentially bringing buyers who've been sitting on the sidelines back into the market. In fact, a study by Bright MLS found that over 70% of buyers had paused their search in the past year due to the high prices. Imagine the pent-up demand waiting to be unlocked as rates improve. Here's something to consider when discussing rates with someone. If they're thinking of waiting until rates drop, remind them they won't be alone. Many other buyers will jump back in, creating more competition. Right now might actually be the best time to take advantage of the current opportunities before the market actually heats up again. So the second big question is, what will it take for prices to come down? This is a common one, especially when people see homes in their neighborhood selling for top dollar and they think this can't last forever. Many believe prices must drop simply because they've risen so much. But let's take a minute and take a look at the facts. To understand why prices have risen, we need to look back at the supply of homes over the past decades. If you check out this chart, you'll see that in the 70s, the 80s, and even the early 90s, we built significantly more homes than in the last 15 years. The red bars show how much new construction has slowed since the housing crisis. Builders haven't overbuilt. They've been playing catch up for years. Combine that with limited supply, with a surge in demand, and during and after the pandemic, driven in addition by historically low mortgage rates, and it's clear why prices have climbed so sharply. This isn't 2008. Back then, the demand was artificially inflated and the market was full of risky lending practices. Today, the demand is real, but supply hasn't kept up. In most areas, we simply don't have enough homes for the number of buyers. And while some markets are seeing the inventory trickle in, the majority across the nation are still playing catch up. Looking ahead again to 2025, most experts predict that home prices will continue to rise, but at a much healthier rate, around 2.5% to 4% appreciation. This is a positive shift towards a more stable market, which everyone benefits from. While the dramatic price jumps of recent years weren't sustainable, this kind of steady growth is good for both buyers and sellers. The next big question is, will I be able to find a home if I'm ready to move? And the short answer is yes. More inventory is coming to the market, and let's talk a little bit about that. The chart from Realtor.com shows how inventory has evolved over the past few years. After the pandemic, drastically reduced available homes. After the pandemic, which drastically reduced available homes, sorry about that, we've been seeing a gradual increase in new listings. Rising mortgage rates and affordability challenges have slowed the demand somewhat, giving inventory a chance to recover. Nationally, there were nearly 30% more homes for sale in October of this year compared to the same time last year. That's a good sign for everybody. So, when will the housing market pick up next year? Let's talk about that. The data suggests that it will. Projections for 2025 indicate that we'll sell around 5.2 million homes, up from the lows of 2024, as depicted on this chart. The gradual recovery in transaction volume reflects improving market conditions, including a more balanced supply of homes with the easing of mortgage rates. 2024 will likely be remembered as a low point for real estate transactions. As we head into 2025, most experts agree we'll see rates come down, more homes will be sold, and prices appreciating at a steady, more sustainable pace. These are all indicators of a healthier market where both buyers and sellers can win. One concern people often raise the question: is the market going to crash? This is a fear rooted in the memories of 2008. But today's market is vastly different than we saw back then. Let's take a look at that. One concern people often raise is the level of debt in the economy. It's true, mortgage debt has grown to $13 trillion, but what's overlooked is that homeowners collectively hold $35 trillion in equity, with a total value of residential real estate at $48 trillion. Compared to 2008, where there were more mortgage debt than equity, we don't see that today. Today's homeowners are in a much stronger position than they were back then. The days of strategic defaults, where people walk away from homes that were worth less than they actually owed, they're behind us. With so much equity in today's market, the idea of a crash simply doesn't hold up to scrutiny. Homeowners are better positioned than ever before. If you look at the comparison on the slide, the left side shows the 2008 crisis where debt outpaced equity. On the right, you see today's market, 13 trillion in debt, 35 trillion in equity. This is fundamentally different in a much stronger market. Facts matter, and having them at your fingertips can make all the difference in the conversations that you're having with family and friends as we go forward. So what can we expect for 2025? There are three key takeaways that the experts are suggesting at this point. Number one, first, home sales will rise as the market continues to recover. That's almost uniformly agreed upon with everyone. Second, mortgage rates are expected to come down, creating more opportunities for buyers. And moving to the next slide. Third, home prices will appreciate at a healthy, sustainable pace. So here's the challenge we all face. It's understanding what's going on in the market, understanding what other folks are saying, whether it's based on fact or based on fiction. Real estate, when we're together with other folks, inevitably will come up. Well, the fact that I'm sharing throughout here, this is based on the data that we see right now. I'll leave you with this thought: life is like the market; it has its ups and downs. But no matter how rough the waters get, we have to focus on being the ship, not the ocean. Ships cut through the waves and stay steady, no matter what the conditions are, and that's how we stay calm, confident, and focused on what we control. As we head into the holiday season, let's be ready to share the information that we have. Let's remain clear in our heads with where we're headed. And let's work together with a seasoned, experienced real estate broker who's willing to invest the time into the market to craft a plan that wins for you. This is looking at the national data. I've already provided a November video talking about this Florida's West Coast, Sarasota, Manatee counties. But even that's not enough. We need to go deeper and look at the area you want to purchase in or you want to sell in. Is it a home? Is it a condo? Is it on the mainland? Is it on the islands? That's just the beginning. At that point, your broker needs to craft a plan. So whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, you win, regardless of whether you're selling a home or buying a home. Give me a call. Let's chat. No obligation. Let's find out if you feel that my company, my team might be a fit for you. Again, my name is Mike Rennick. My personal cell, I want all my clients to have it. We need to be available when it's convenient for you and not the other way around. That number is 941-400-8735. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to connecting.